G.
Testing.
Sideways.
Sit.
That's as far back.
Hold it up.
That's deeper over there than it is on this side.
Next time, room temperature.
This is the only spot you can be far away.
Let's go.
Don't forget the big focal.
Yeah. Square circle spotlight. Square circle spotlight. Why? Hot text late tail mic. On the big slide. Stay out. Still TV in sight. Not fun. This is spotlight. Joe on the mic. Keep the convo intact. Breaking matches down to the psychological facts. Ring IQ heavy analyze. Let me come. Jeremy jump topics. Laughs derail. 1 minute. Cena. Next one wild tail. Wild card energy. Crowd feel. Wait, what? Charlie got history locked in his brain. Dates, towns, brains. Deep cut game. Encyclopedia live. Actually. Kathy bring clarity. Sharp and composed. Cuts through nonsense. Yeah. Everyone knows. Last word. Hit 'em. Yeah. Kathy bring clarity. Sharp and composed. Cuts through nonsense. Everyone knows. Last word. Hit 'em. Exactly.
Welcome to the Squared Circle Spotlight Super Show number 2. We have got a fun one for you this time. We've been going back and forth. If you watch the episodes, we've gone back and forth on AEW versus WWE for months. The fans has let us know in the comments whether they're pro WWE, pro AEW. We've heard it all. This time we are doing a debate, AEW versus WWE, deathmatch style right here in studio. So stay tuned. This was so big, we had to bring in a guest for this one. We'll get to that in a minute. We do have some business to attend to. So if you guys watch the show regularly, you know we make our picks for the WWE PLEs and the AEW pay-per-views, and we run it as a season. So between the big four of WWE's PLEs is each season. We just finished one with Royal Rumble, and we have a winner. Last time we crowned our inaugural champion, which he is currently holding the belt for us, and we have a winner again. And unfortunately for me, I came in a close second. Charlie has defended his title successfully.
Surprise. The bad guy wins another one. But it is a little hot in here. I need some shades.
Little bright.
A little bright.
We'll explain later.
So that's a perfect segue. So thank you for that, because as you know also, our loser for each season faces a stipulation. So whoever came in last place faces a punishment for coming in last place, a la fantasy football, a la Impractical Jokers a little bit here. So we have a loser, and it is none other than Jeremy. He will be going by the name Jizzle tonight for a very specific reason. So Jizzle's stipulation here is, if you couldn't tell already, he will be Virgil to Charlie's $1 Million Man. So basically, Jizzle, you are now Charlie's manservant for the episode. So if Charlie needs a sip of water,
Yeah, speaking of that, a little parched.
parched. Get
Little
the guy
parched.
some water.
I said room temp.
Room temp. God, you're fired.
Okay, there you go. Take that.
So Jeremy is not wearing a ridiculous outfit just because he's been going to the gym lately. He is wearing this because he is supposed to be Virgil tonight. So thank you, Jeremy.
Well, Jeremy, let me give you credit. A, you're a good manservant. B, if you're going to lose the way you did. You lost perfectly. You didn't get one pick right.
Big old goose egg.
You deserve this stipulation, if I must say.
Yeah, I mean, you've truly earned it. Last time, I think Charlie lost, but he didn't. Oh, no. Charlie lost the last pay-per-view. This was before we did the seasons.
Yeah.
So he didn't lose quite as bad. You lost in spectacular fashion, my friend. So
bigger
you
goal.
And you were confident. Those picks, you were very confident in those
He
picks.
was.
Just a little bit. Well, I got one thing right. I did say that Obi Femi was throwing Breaker over the rope.
Hold on. You can't even say his name right. It doesn't count. It's
Well,
Oba.
Oba.
And you also said Roxanne Perez was Raquel Rodriguez twice.
Yes, I did.
So it doesn't count.
Yep. Yeah.
You're in negative points right now.
I'll try better next time.
But let's get into our debate here. So like I said, we had to bring in a guest for this one. But let's get to what our teams are. First, we have Team WWE, which will be represented by myself and Charlie. We've been gone by many names before. We've been the Impact Players. We've been the world's cutest tag team. These were Saturday nights out, so don't ask questions. But we've gone by many tag team names when we've gone out. We are Team WWE tonight. And on Team AEW, I will hand it over to Kathy.
Yes, I have brought in the big guns here. Anytime I mention the word WWE, this guy has an uncontrollable face and reaction to it. So as soon as I said we were doing WWE versus AEW, called in JD over here to help me out and dominate this. We are prepared. We have notes. We have met up and strategized this whole thing. So you guys don't have a chance. Sorry.
Hey, Joe, did we need notes?
I don't come notes. I come prepared.
Do we need to strategize?
This is one take Jake over here. We strategized a little bit.
I don't know. That group chat had a lot of sweating memes going on in there. So
Never
let's
let
see
the
how this
truth Get
goes.
in the way of a good story, Joe.
Yeah, that's true. I
Could be a
apologize.
work.
Give me a sip.
Hey, Virgil, sip.
Give me a sip.
Come on, Virgil.
So JD, this is the first time you've been on the show, so let's hear a little bit. We don't have to go too long, but a little bit on your hatred of WWE and where that stems from. We'll get into more of it in the debate, so
Yes.
save something. for the debate.
Sure. I didn't always hate WWE. I used to love it, especially when it was the only game in town. I think they got a little too big for their britches. They were the only game in town. They got complacent, and with the recent, let's call it money-making ventures, I just kind of got sick of how evil of a corporation they are. That's just my feeling as a fan, not as a businessman, not anything else other than a fan. I feel alienated as a fan, and I don't feel that way when I watch AEW.
Yeah, instant. Like when I say instant, I mean instant. You say anything about anybody on the roster, he goes, ugh. So let's hear it. This is it. We're here. We're ready to go.
Let's start the debate. I think.
Yeah, I think we
it's
got
about
we
that
got a
time.
battle set for us here now. All right, so we're gonna do our debate. Here are the rules. Each team will have 2 minutes to make their opening argument. One person from that team will make that argument. We'll then go into a rebuttal round where each team will get to make their rebuttals to the opening arguments. That will be the other person on the team. So there is a little more strategy involved here. And then lastly, we'll each have 1 minute to make our closing statement. And then move on to the next topic. So this could get heated. So we had to use the big guns here. The guy without sleeves, Jizzle, tonight will be playing our moderator, keeping things in line, as well as announcing the topics. Jizzle is getting over well. We might have to
Jizzle
permanently call you
sweating.
that.
Love the nickname, guys. Thank you.
Do you need a sip?
No, I'll be fine. I'll
All right,
power
if
through.
if he's taking a sip, run that through me first.
Yeah,
okay?
that's very true. Very true.
Gotcha. Understood.
All right. So we flipped a coin before the show to pick who gets to go first. Charlie and I won the coin flip, so we decided Team AEW will go first.
Prelude of things to come, Kathy.
So we will flip-flop each round, to be clear. We'll flip next round, we'll go first. But Jeremy, go ahead, or Jizzle, go ahead and take us away.
WWE, you ready?
I'm ready.
AEW, you ready?
We're ready.
Let's tussle. Topic 1. AEW does not create stars.
All right, I'm gonna let Pitbull start this one. Get in there, JD.
I think that's horseshit.
Hey, don't hate me for the question.
Coming off hot.
All right. I think AEW does create stars. Maybe they don't create stars that are currently as big as the WWE, but they do create stars. They built their company around what they call their 4 pillars. MJF, you got Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, Jack Perry, and MJF has said he even turned down a WWE contract. They wanted him. He turned it down. WWE turned away stars like Tony Storm, Chris Statlander, and they even turned down their biggest star, arguably, Cody Rhodes, who got huge for WWE. I think I would even go so far as to say that WWE repels some of their stars and gets rid of them, like Edge and Christian, Adam Copeland now, who didn't want to go back to WWE. Bryan Danielson came over. He was thriving in AEW. Mercedes Moné, she famously quit, and now she's, I don't know how many belts she's got now. So these stars are now gaining traction in AEW, whereas they might not have in WWE. I also like the fact that they have all of these stables. John Moxley is heading a stable, and one of the big things he does is help these little guys so that they can rise through the ranks. Cody did that. Jericho did that. So maybe they're not creating stars that are as big as, a Roman Reigns or I don't even watch WWE, so I don't know who's in it anymore. Who gives a shit? But they're giving everybody a chance to be a star, and I really like that. Oh, on the dot. You guys are trouble.
All right, WWE, let's hear what you got as a response.
Charlie, do you mind if I jump in?
You want to jump in? Go ahead, jump in.
This one. Are we ready here? All right. So let's talk about AEW not creating stars. First of all, this is my opening statement. You've mentioned a lot of the names that I was going to mention in my opening statement, so it's not a rebuttal. I'm going to start with the people that founded the company. Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, they came into the company from New Japan, absolutely stars already. They came to AEW, started this company, and went nowhere. They got no bigger than they were before. They have not transcended their own company. They are still where they were when they were in New Japan and have not gotten bigger. Kenny Omega should be a household name. When I talk about WWE, you can go back throughout history, and these are household names. You could say Hulk Hogan. You could say Macho Man. You can say Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Randy Orton. You could even go now, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. People know these names outside of wrestling, and they were built within WWE. These stars in AEW were not built. If you even consider them stars, most of them came in from the indies with a following already. We talk about MJF. MJF was huge on the indies. He was huge in MLW, and he came to AEW. He's not even their top guy. They're not even pushing him as the top guy. This is the guy that cuts the best promos, should be a main eventer every week. He's in storylines that we don't know where they're going, and he has not built any higher. So MJF is exactly where he was when he came off the indies, and I'm a huge MJF fan. AEW has the talent to build household names, huge stars, and they have not done that. Mercedes Moné is my other point. She came in from WWE, already a star. They're forcing her down our throats to make her a bigger star. They've given her all these Iowa County Fair titles. Nobody cares. If you want her to be a star, make her a face. Stop doing her this bitchy heel stuff. It's over with. Mercedes is a bum. She's off TV. She ain't a star either. I'm done. I finished before my time was up.
Well said, Joe.
All right. So we're going to keep throwing the same names around, but I'm going to say MJF, yes, he was big on the indies, but Charlie has said multiple times, this is his top favorite guy that is clearly a superstar. We also have to think Kenny Omega. He was in WWE developmental, and he failed there. He went on to New Japan. He went on to now run this company, and I think it's great, actually, that they run this company and don't put themselves at the top. I think that's fantastic from a business perspective, from a personal perspective. Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, all them, they could be like Triple H and all of the McMahons and put themselves at the top of every major main event, and they don't, and that's a choice, and I like that choice. We've got Tony Storm, Swerve Strickland, all these people that failed in WWE and are top stars and top names in AEW right now. There is a certain place where everybody belongs, and I think it wasn't them as talent, it was them as their environment. And Cody Rhodes, we have talked multiple times. He is a joke in WWE now. He struggles with his chase. He gets the title, and then everybody says he fails. He was not like that in AEW. He just signed a bigger contract because it was bigger dollars. So we've got Britt Baker, another one, who got offered WWE, didn't want it. We've got like Darby Allin, all these people, just because they were successful in the indie circuit doesn't mean that they were the stars that they are now in AEW. They produce nothing but top-notch stars. And I'm done before my buzzer as well.
Oh shit!
Just sit me real quick.
Just got to get.
You got time
He
for
needs a couple
hydration
seconds
break.
to process the burn.
I rebuttal.
You
Your
got the
rebuttal's
rebuttal,
up.
man.
All right, where to begin? Let's start with those 4 pillars you talked about, and I'll grant you MJF. Kathy says it. I admit it. He's a star, but look at the other ones. Sammy Guevara, where's he? What is he doing? Darby Allin, he's a bloody Q-tip, and who? Jack Perry, Jack Perry, Jungle Boy. Like, come on, they don't make any stars over there. Cody, use Cody as an example. All right, now he's getting maybe a little stale. Let's not forget, he had 2 years of one of the best storylines in the last decade of finishing the story, taking that title off of Roman Reigns. They took something that Cody was a star there, and they made him into a superstar. AEW deals with wrestlers. We deal with superstars. WWE is a superstar-making machine. I can't name a lot of AEW guys that are worth their salt that would hold up in WWE besides the ones we took from you. I don't know, Joe.
This is all you. I can't jump in there. So.
You guys made the rules, so.
I mean, it's just. I guess it speaks to the lack of star power. They. Who over there would you sell to? Who sells more tickets in anyone in AEW? Then you put Roman Reigns up. People know who he is. Here, I'll go on your point. Household names. They are household names. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. People know them. They've created household names. No one knows anyone in AEW. People don't even know what AEW is.
We know what it is.
Well, I mean, besides the niche
At
audience.
least 2 people who know what it is.
Yeah.
It attracts a niche audience. WWE attracts global. It's mainstream. It's in the zeitgeist of Americana. And
Guys,
I am done.
vocabulary.
On
word.
the buzzer.
Perfect timing.
Perfect.
All right. That was,
Closing
Jizzle.
arguments.
All right. So that would be them.
you're up, pal. You're our closer.
All right.
You go. Just real quick. Both of you can go. Oh, closing.
Oh, this we
closing-
can have a multiple
yes,
conversation.
multiple.
Okay, all right.
is
So we
great.
got 1 minute to go back and forth. Here we go. Go. You start.
I would argue that maybe, to your point, the WWE maybe launched Cody Rhodes to superstardom, as you say, but he was a joke in WWE before he was Stardust. Nobody gave a crap. He was already a
I did.
That
love
was the.
Stardust.
That was the.
okay.
The Jizzle.
You were the guy.
Yeah, the Jizzle.
I saw it.
That was his favorite wrestler, Stardust.
Yeah.
And he was okay, but he became a star before he made his current WWE run.
And we also have to take into account it's been, 5-6 years versus decades, and they've already jumped to the level that they have in this short period of time, and I think that speaks something.
The fact that WWE is poaching guys from AEW, I like Hobbs. Now he's Royce Keys. I hope he does well, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just banish him to the mid card like they do whenever
Everybody
they poach
else.
somebody else
Yep. All
WWE.
right.
before the buzzer.
Before the
Right,
buzzer.
you wanna
Yeah,
jump
yeah.
in?
I got this. So there's a couple things I didn't talk about in the beginning that I will put in my closing statements, and you made a great point about Powerhouse Hobbs.
Oh, thank you.
If you watched Powerhouse Hobbs debut in Saudi Arabia, nobody knew who he was. Why is that? Because nobody knows what AEW is, just like he said. Nobody cared about Powerhouse Hobbs when he came out. And Powerhouse Hobbs, I think he should be a huge star in WWE. AEW brings in stars from WWE. They're the shiny new thing for a few weeks. Tommaso Ciampa will be a perfect example. Book that right now. He won the title. By this time next year, you will not be talking about it.
Also, Cody didn't get over in AEW. He got over in the Indies, just like Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. He was a star before he went back to AEW. AEW didn't make him a star. He turned himself into a star in the Indies, I would argue.
100%. We saw him in the Indies. He was already becoming a star. He came in a star to AEW because he left WWE.
All right. There you have it, folks. That's the first topic of today.
Man, we're already riled up. This is going to be fun.
Yeah,
I'm
I like
excited.
Oh man,
This
I'm
room is hotter than
excited.
me. It's getting
Yeah, it's
hotter.
already hot now.
taking everything I
Somebody's
can.
going to be jumping over a table at some point.
Jizzle sit,
I hope not, because that guy's a lot bigger than me.
Yeah, I know what that one was.
Yeah, you already got your championship.
Take your title and go home. All right, for the second topic, AEW puts on superior matches and pay-per-views. You went first, or
They went first. We're going
Yeah,
first.
you're up.
All right, I'll jump in.
It's already
here.
messing it up.
I'm kind of the AEW guy, I guess, here. So I'll give AEW credit. I want to be clear too. I like AEW. I don't hate AEW like it may sound, but they put on really good matches. They put on good pay-per-views. But here's what I will say. So one, I think they put on good in-ring matches, but it's fluff, right? If you watch Dynamite each week, you get cool matchups. You get Kenny Omega versus Kevin Knight, right? It's a cool match, but it means absolutely nothing. That goes towards nothing. We'll get into this when we talk about storytelling in a bit, but it leads to nothing. They put on really cool matches. They put on good pay-per-views. I'll give them that. I pay for the pay-per-views, right? I pay for it. I watch them. I think they're good, but they don't mean anything. And like, if I put this in sports terms, right? If I think football, I'm a Giants fan, unfortunately. If I think about like the Giants play the Seahawks, that's maybe a game I can miss each week, right? Because I don't, whatever. It's not a big rivalry. But if it's the Giants versus the Cowboys, it's the Giants versus the Eagles, you better believe I'm tuning in every single time to watch that game because there's a huge story in there. That's what I want to see. There's hate between the two teams. I want to see a reason for those teams to be playing each other outside of just winning and losing. AEW does not care about win-loss records. They tried to do that. So the matches don't really mean anything. They're just putting matches out to put matches out. They put a lot of glitz glamour with the stuff they do in the ring. But then a lot of these matches are like the same thing, and say what you will. I can watch any AEW match right now and put it on. I guarantee you there's a V-trigger. I guarantee you there's a super kick. I guarantee you there's flips involved. Every match is the same. The only other thing they do differently are those snuff films they call death matches. And they've toned it down. But those death matches are just, again, something to get a viral moment that really lead to nothing. They just like seeing the blood, how extreme they can go. Give us a viral moment. That's all you want. It means nothing. Whereas the WWE matches lead to bigger stories, much like he talked about before with Cody Rhodes and finishing the story, biggest story in wrestling. We have never seen that with AEW because those matches lead to nothing.
Well said.
Team AEW, how would you like to respond?
My AEW expert is up.
You brought up a good point, I think, about the game that you are willing to miss. And I got to say that every single Raw and SmackDown is a game I'm willing to miss. I spent years fast forwarding through. You would watch a Raw, and you know that the first 25 minutes to 2 hours is going to be an opening segment with somebody talking, and then somebody's going to come out and challenge them to a match at the end where it's going to end in a DQ so they can build up a pay-per-view, which you know that the pay-per-view is going to suck because it's going to be 4 matches spread over 6 hours, and one of them might be good. Whereas all you need to do is look at the Sports Illustrated list and look at how AEW just mopped the floor with WWE in matches, in story development, in best wrestlers, all that kind of stuff. I've been to a bunch of pay-per-views for AEW, and it's 5 hours of them cramming as much wrestling, not storylines, wrestling into a wrestling pay-per-view as they possibly can. And I can only speak for me. As a wrestling fan, I want to see the match. I don't give a shit about your bullshit 3-year storyline that has no good ending. How many times do I got to see Roman Reigns win a fucking Royal Rumble or go against the Bloodline Part 4? I don't care. I don't care. The storytelling stinks on ice. So, yeah, I want to watch the wrestling matches. Tony Khan is a guy who books wrestling matches. He cares less about the storyline than he does about the wrestling matches, I feel. And maybe some people think that's a flaw. I don't think that's a flaw. He's willing to open a forbidden door. He's willing to book dream matches so that people can watch their favorite wrestlers wrestle. And that, I believe, is why the AEW model is superior in terms of better matches and pay-per-views.
WWE, ready to wrestle?
Well,
What accent was that?
Wrestle.
You don't remember South Park?
it's a jizzle one.
Wrestling.
Yeah.
All right. Let me start this rebuttal off here. Hey, you guys are AEW fans because you are pro wrestling fans, and that happens to be the case for a lot of AEW fans. But let's use an example. The UFC was in the red. They were almost about to close the door, and I'm a guy that watched UFC from the beginning. The Jizzle can testify because I like fights, so I would always watch them. But then when the UFC blew up, when they became big, when they became now the eventual billion-dollar company that they are, TKO or WWE, it was because of the Ultimate Fighter. Because you invested in the characters. You learned about the people. You cared about them. You wanted to see them fight. I'm not denying AEW doesn't put on spectacular matches. They do. But why would I care? Why would I care? Because every match does look the same. And, flippy floppy stuff is cool.
I knew the order's coming.
But unless I know why he's flipping and flopping, I don't care.
The motivation behind the flippy floppy.
Well, I got my 2 flippy floppies in, and I think the UFC was a good analogy. That's my point on that.
All right. Rebuttal?
I'm going to pull in some film from previous podcasts, actually in this room. Our match of the year, Hangman versus Ospreay. Half of the roster we had on that end of year awards ceremony we did was all AEW. We had 1 or 2 WWE in there. I think the problem is you guys don't like, and we've taken votes on this, you guys don't like the hardcore format. You guys it's almost like a soap opera for you guys. Like there's stories involved more than the wrestling. And I think that's for a lot of people that were raised in that type of WWE versus the AEW format. And the UFC is its own category. I understand the parallel to it, but you're talking about money. You're not talking about fans and quality. We've watched plenty of UFC where we're like, that was stupid. And then we say that, sports betting has ruined sports and all these things. So I think AEW puts on superior matches and pay-per-views. It's also, WWE is 4 or 5 hours, and that's 90% of ads and nonsense about the storyline. You go to an AEW pay-per-view, it's just wrestling. These guys have 6 minutes to switch out an entire ring and start over because there's another match that has to go on, and you're there till midnight, and it's just straight wrestling for that entire time. And I think that's what wrestling fans want. So I think they're superior. And the flippy floppies, I think, are the next phase of wrestling. You are stuck in as you have said, you want the old school guy. I don't think people want that anymore.
Well, that's why we got AAA. They could do our flippy flops for us.
All right.
Yeah.
I think it's pronounced flippe floppe.
Flippe floppe down there.
I know, Jeremy, you're the one
Oui,
with
oui.
the accents. How did we say flippy floppy?
Flippy floppy.
Flippe. In the wrestling.
The wrestling.
All right, closing arguments. You want me to start it off here? All right. So I said in my opening statement here, like AEW matches are kind of all the same. You get very little variation. Again, AEW fans are going to come at me, bro. I don't care. WWE at least gives you some variety. Now, is every match a 5-star Dave Meltzer Tokyo Dome match? No. But you get a different match from Ilya Dragunov than you'll get from Cody Rhodes, then you'll get from Gunther, then you'll get from Roman Reigns. You get a lot of different variety in your matches, again, with a meaning behind them. There is a story behind those. AEW, flippy floppies, blood, V-trigger, super kick. That's a match. Good.
Yeah, you said it all. You said it all, Joe. I don't really have much to add to that. I'm not a huge AEW guy. This is my weakness here. You probably have the
Definitely.
same with WWE. I don't know too much about the product. I'm not an expert. This is my AEW guy.
That's our closing argument.
Can respect that.
All right.
Your closing argument?
You
Well,
start.
hit me.
Sit me.
Oh, I knew it was coming.
Thank you.
He's trained.
He's trained now. All right, you can start off.
I can start off. All right.
Yep.
I would argue that the storylines in AEW are getting better. I'll refer back to the Sports Illustrated list of all the storylines that beat the crap out of WWE this year. So, yeah, people do care about the storylines. I think what wound up happening with the actual wrestling part is that WWE became a PG company, they left the Attitude Era and they started becoming more family friendly. So they're not pushing the envelope. They have all these ads because they want people to buy stuff now, whereas AEW is just putting on wrestling matches that are far superior to anything the WWE is putting out.
And you mentioned the inconsistencies of the wrestlers. That's not necessarily a good thing. We actually talk shit all the time about like, oh, this was a terrible Cody Rhodes match. This was a terrible CM Punk match. This was whatever. Just because you don't know what you're getting doesn't necessarily mean you're getting good. AEW, you're at least getting consistent.
Wait. The little I ain't seen of AEW, they do botch a lot more shit than WWE.
Because they're trying to
Because they're wrestling.
Maybe
pull
the
things
moves are
off.
harder. Maybe
Yeah.
the moves are harder.
The
but
flippy floppies
The
are not
flippy
easy.
floppies are not
They're not easy.
I never said they were. But
that's
there's
a
a lot
risk.
of botching going on.
That's definitely a risk you're going to run. Couldn't agree more.
All
But
right.
High risk, high reward.
you know what? Couldn't have said it better myself,
There you
Jizzle.
go. Jizzle.
All right,
If that is your real name.
for today.
For today.
On to topic 3. WWE storytelling is light years better than AEW. AEW, how would you like to take this?
All right, I'm going to take this one. All right, so I don't blank out. I'm going to read this. I strongly disagree. I find WWE to be predictable. You know who the top guys are. They push the top guys all the time, so you kind of can guess pretty much automatically. Even you could tell based off of our picks that we can tell who's coming. I said AEW, with some exception, has a chance to push everybody, pretty much everybody, obviously with exceptions, to see how they do. And if they don't do well, that sucks. If they do well, they keep pushing. They also rely too much on storylines and lack thereof with guys that only show up maybe a few times a year and wrestle maybe 20% of those times. So what is the storyline that you're pushing with that other than you've got this big guy coming in every so often? Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, especially Brock Lesnar. He just shows up with zero storyline and just comes in and throws people around. Nobody wants to see that, in my opinion. I have voiced that many times. They've gotten lazy with repetitive stories. How many masked men, mystery men can we have? How many unclean finishes to continue on a feud can we drag out? We have also spoken about that many times. But yeah, we're on our second masked man in less than 6 months. Totally not even the same person. So that is a repeated story. And then the only time they actually pull off a surprise, and I'll use this with lots of quotations, is when somebody gets hurt. They have to pivot, unfortunately. And the problem is they pivot to a completely different storyline like it never even happened. I'll use an example of how excited everybody was for the AJ Lee CM Punk match versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Unfortunately, Seth Rollins got hurt, and they don't even talk about it. It never even happened. They could have pulled it with the existing people, and they decided to just scrap it all together. I find that to be a waste of what could have been the biggest feud of 25-26. So AEW is just at a faster pace because they're more worried about the wrestling. 2 minutes.
Man, we're cutting it close on each one of
You
these.
got that time down. You got that time
It seems like you had it perfect.
Yeah.
You rehearsed, didn't you?
I did. I blank out when you put me on the spot, so I had to write this stuff down.
About the notes. I think I'll start this one. Kathy, you said that they don't tell any good stories without people getting injured. Seth Rollins, he was injured. Right? Oh, no, Joe, that was the work that everyone bought into because they tell good stories. They tell stories that you still talk about and still can remember today. The boyhood dream of Shawn Michaels turning to the destiny of a man, WrestleMania 12. More recently, like I mentioned in the prior question, Cody Rhodes finishing the story. You can hate WWE all you want, but if you look, that story was well told over multiple. They held it. They didn't deliver it too early when the payoff could have been there, and they could have got the cheap payoff. They waited it, and it was, one of the best endings to a WrestleMania I can think of. Other than, I don't know, maybe Daniel Bryan in WrestleMania 30. That was another wonderful story that they told. Intruders, masked guys, they tell that very good as well because, Kevin, who's the masked guy right now? We're still debating, and we're wrestling fans. We don't know. Is it Austin Theory?
Maybe.
Jizzle? Is it, who else would it be, Jizzle? Could it be Logan Paul, Jizzle? It could be anyone. We don't know because the storytelling is so damn good. They have that down to an act. That's why they have a whole story. They have a whole department. Road dogs writing it down. People are taking notes, and stories are popping in WWE right now. I think sports entertainment, you can have the matches. We'll take the stories. We deliver better stories, bar none.
Ooh, before the buzzer.
The buzzer.
Yeah, I botched that one.
Beep buzzer. I don't remember that one.
One of those.
All right.
AEW.
You're up, pal.
I'm going to bring up the Sports Illustrated list again and say the storytelling seems to be in favor of AEW. They had Hangman versus Swerve, the redemption story. That was quite compelling. The Hangman Moxley rivalry, storytelling. You want to talk about storytelling? Toni Storm can tell a story on the mic. She's phenomenal. So their storytelling, even in however many years they've been around, since what, 2019, they've gotten leaps and bounds better than when they first started out. WWE's storytelling, it's predictable. You could start in the ring. I know that in the first 2 or 3 minutes, they're going to have their match, and then after that, one guy's going to get knocked out of the ring, the other guy's going to follow him out, and Michael Cole's going to say, let's see if he can get back into this match right after this word from Cricket Wireless, and then you have 5 minutes of fucking ads, and then they're back in the ring, and somebody comes in and gets DQ'd. So, that's predictable right there. And then they have this long-term storytelling that everybody touts. It's too long. It's too long. It's too boring. I don't care. I don't care about the story anymore. Roman Reigns, the bloodline, it far too long. And what Kat said, they just abandoned their storyline with AJ Lee and CM Punk. I thought they could have continued it if they really wanted to. Their big idea of storytelling, I don't buy it because they'll counter program against AEW by throwing in a legend. The only reason Brock Lesnar came back that one time is because AEW was having a pay-per-view and they wanted a cheap pop from Lesnar. That's not storytelling. That's bullshit. So
That's good looking.
These are our Brock Lesnar guys.
I mean, he's a total beast, but
We could both talk on this one.
Yes.
No, it's a rebuttal.
No,
Oh,
he needs
My
his
turn.
rebuttal
Go.
you're
first.
rebutting.
You can get the closing. All right, so my rebuttal. I'm going to start with a question for you guys. I'm going to let you guys talk here a little bit.
Oh.
What's AEW's top storyline right now?
That's this guy.
Their top storyline? Their title picture.
Took 10 seconds to think of what AEW's top storyline is.
Because
WWE's
there's
top-
so many of them, you have to pull
Ah,
which one's the best.
this is uninterrupted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jizzle.
Oh,
You said we did talk.
changing the rules
All right,
here.
whatever.
Just,
He gets 10 extra
All right.
seconds.
One
Okay.
question.
10
One
seconds.
question. Took 10 seconds to tell me what it is. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk is the WWE's top storyline they're building right now to build into WrestleMania, which is going to be the premier match for
Facts.
WrestleMania.
Premier.
We could talk about ticket sales and that too, but I'm going to save that for something later. The storyline is superior. Again, I've said this before when we were talking about building stars. There's no storyline. MJF is the champion. The storyline for him now is everybody's kind of getting a shot at him. Like, who cares? That's any other sport. You could do that. Wrestling is built on storylines. It always has been. Say what you will. If you want to call it a sport, AEW, let's keep track of the records. Let's do playoffs. Let's do that stuff. If you want to be a sport, be a sport. If you want to be entertainment, which sports entertainment, wrestling is, you need those stories. It goes back as old as time. Hulk Hogan, Macho Man with Miss Elizabeth. It starts in the 80s, in the 70s, stories we're being told. That's all wrestling is storytelling. I tune in because I want to see what the next piece of that story is. We have cliffhangers. You end an episode, you end a season of a show with a cliffhanger. It gets people to tune back in. MJF beating Bandito and then it going nowhere doesn't get me to tune back in because next week he's wrestling Brody King. Then the week after that, he's wrestling Swerve Strickland. Who cares? It's just match after match after match with zero story being told. And that is why AEW cannot succeed because they cannot tell a story.
All right. Now I'm thinking, since you two can't keep it quiet together at the same time, let's do a 2-minute one where you both argue.
That was my turn.
No, I'm saying it seems
That
like
was a
it's getting a
choice he
little
made.
hostile.
No. Follow the rules.
right.
Follow the
Follow the
rules.
rules.
Wait. Jizzle, read the cards. Hand me the water.
I don't need to read anything. We're still on the same side.
Do your voices, but don't come up with new topics or new rules.
Hey, I had to quiet them down for you. Next time I won't.
Well, that's your job,
thank
moderator.
you, Chisel. Thank you, Chisel.
It's literally your job. Well, our turn. All right. So, as you said, you just listed 7 different stories from AEW. I didn't have to do that. You did that for us, and none
Not a
of
story.
those. But there's a lot of stories, which is you tune in to try to figure out what's going on, and it's not with the same repetitive person. It's not predictable. They pull out people that you don't even know what's going on. Who's going for MJF? Who's going for the Don Callis family right now? You don't get all the pieces, and you want to know who it is, and you watch it, and that is better storytelling, in my opinion, than WWE's repetitive, same people over and over again. You know who the top guy is. You don't need that guy anymore, and he doesn't even fucking show up. So go on for the next 30 seconds.
All right. You mentioned people going after MJF for his championship. What about John Cena's open challenge? That seemed to be a compelling storyline when WWE was relevant 20 years ago. And that's a great way of getting people to tune in. Like, if you have a good guy who's a fighting champion, they want to see who's going to step up. They want to see who's going to take a shot at the champion. Whereas when you have your villain, he's the coward. He's shying away from fighting because he's a coward. We want to boo that guy, and we want to see how he's going to get disqualified. I would say that the thing that makes WWE good in that sense, the fighting champion versus the coward champion, is the thing that you're saying is not good in AEW. I want to see people go after MJF because he always finds a way to weasel his way out of it. And additionally, you see the same 4 people in WWE doing that. You have the younger guys coming in.
You had your time.
Jizzle, I have a question here. What round are we on? Was that the closing or was that the
I was wondering the same
the
thing. I
rebuttal?
felt like
I
2
think that was
minutes.
a
Well, that's a
rebuttal.
problem.
Yeah, Jizzle. So that will be your rebuttal. Why don't you both go on that one? We still have the closing statements here.
Wait, so we're both going on this?
That's our.
This is the close.
I can count that. I feel confident in our closing statement. I think.
Yeah, you want to
that's-
skip? All right.
I
up to
think
you.
that's right.
Let's
We
just
think
both
that's a good
go.
closing.
I think that was fine.
Yeah, this is our closing.
This
We
is
can do
our
I'll
whatever
do
we
your
want.
closing.
Okay, well, wait. First off, you're kind of messing me up here. You're saying you like the open challenges, you don't like the open challenges. WWE's still doing an open challenge. Dragunov just did one, and it was awesome. We just told John Cena's retirement story, which was fantastic. And it also sold a shitload of merchandise. I don't want to see a story about Japanese guy from I never seen this company. I don't know who he is. Why is he wrestling for a world title? Sorry, 90% of the fans that are watching don't know All Japan or New Japan.
Yeah, and again, you said the MJF thing that I alluded to. The MJF thing is not a story. Those are just matches. It doesn't lead to anything. There is no story going forward with MJF. Where is he going? Nobody knows because it's just, let's throw this guy in there, see what sticks. It's throwing shit at a wall, seeing what sticks. Tony Khan's got a lot of shit to throw and none of it's sticking.
It's got a lot of money to waste.
Yeah.
Overpaid for Mercedes
Too much
Moné.
fiber, I must say.
It's a high protein diet.
Yeah.
Just well, you lost track of everything.
Yeah. We're on a new topic. It's all right.
Next topic.
All right.
Which company has the better fan base?
More dedicated fan base. Who's up, Jizzle? I forgot. I've lost track here.
I believe it is you guys.
Okay. I can jump in, Charlie, if you'd like.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Let's talk about some money here, and I'm going to tell you how I get to money here. So, this is why, again, AEW fans are always loud. They're always the loudest in the comments. It's the loud minority. AEW fans are not the most dedicated fans, and I say this because they do not show up. So, let's talk about viewership. Let's start there. Viewership when AEW first debuted, their first episode was like 1.4 million viewers. And I get it. It's the first episode. Everybody tuned in. I tuned in. But they continued down that trend for the first year or so where they were at like 1 million, a little under 1 million for the first year. Now they are down into year, 8 now? Yeah. No, year 7. They're down to around 500, 600,000 viewers per episode. Okay? Let's talk about WWE. Back at that same time, WWE was averaging about 1.1 million viewers per episode. Right now, WWE is still averaging about 1 million per episode. Now, Netflix gets a little fuzzy, but we'll talk about SmackDown there. So, WWE fans continually show up. They have not dropped off. I don't care how bad a story is, how bad a match is. They show up. Let's talk about merch. Merch for WWE sells non-stop. You go on, people are on the online store constantly buying merchandise. They're at the shows buying merchandise. I know between Charlie and I, we've probably spent $1,000 this year in 2025 buying merchandise. That's because they love the product. They love the brand. They're dedicated to WWE. When we went to SummerSlam, the line at the SummerSlam Superstore was between 6 and 8 hours long. This is not a lie.
Yep.
This is accurate. AEW fans show up to the event and might buy a t-shirt. That's about it. Their online store does nowhere near the sales that WWE does. And you can say what you want. They're not spending money on the product. They're not watching the product. Even the amount of people that show up to the events is less than WWE. The AEW fans are like that annoying little brother that's not as successful. They're very loud. Look at me, pay attention to me. But the fact of the matter is, WWE fans stay dedicated.
Very good, John.
Right.
Very, very good.
What is the statement that we're arguing?
Which company has the more loyal fan base?
The more loyal fan base.
There you go.
Okay. Who's doing it?
Printing error.
This is you.
This is me?
This is you.
Good,
Get in
because
there.
I got a lot to say.
Yep, I
Oh,
figured.
boy. Buckle up.
I will never argue with you that WWE has the bigger fan base. They have the bigger fan base. They've been around since before I was born. 15 years ago. So, but I think that the quality of fan, and it's no disrespect to WWE fans, but I believe that the AEW fans are rabid. I believe that they're more informed. They're the ones who get into your comments and cause you guys problems because they're so passionate about it. Who gives a crap if WWE is moving more merch? They have more people to move more merch. My fiance and I went to a show in Albuquerque. It was a Dynamite and a Collision taping. WWE doesn't go to Albuquerque. It was the second ever professional wrestling show in Albuquerque because Tony Khan realized that there are people out there who want to go see the product. It was sold out. It was sold out in Albuquerque, the second wrestling show ever to be in Albuquerque. WWE is G-rated, so they're going to invite G-rated fans and families. AEW does whatever the hell it wants. So they're going to bring in people who are going to chant funnier things than WWE. They're going to bring in a more, I use the word mature in quotations, fan, more educated, more people who are knowledgeable about the product, who go wild when the Japanese guy comes in because they watch New Japan. They watch AEW. They're more opinionated, but they're also more open-minded than the WWE fan, in my opinion.
All right.
Got that rebuttal ready?
Well, I mean, we were talking about Tony Khan being so generous and kind that he goes out to Albuquerque. Tony Khan ran Wembley. He tried to run some huge show in Australia. He couldn't fill it, so he had to move to a smaller venue outside of Perth, which is really hard for these people to get to. 3 hours difference in drive. They draw less than ECW did at their heyday. WWE fills stadiums. They make it spectacular. It's a thing to go to a WWE, especially one of the the big four. It's a thing. It's an experience. People will wait on lines. I don't think anyone would wait on an AEW line except the small vocal minority, the cynical wrestling fans that don't think that pro wrestling's any good anymore when it happens to be pretty damn good. WWE, even when it wasn't good for a little while, still had millions of fans. I think, does AEW even do live events anymore? Besides TV? I don't know. I think they stopped touring. Well, that sounds like Impact a couple years ago. But you can't even do live events and fill up a gymnasium. So I don't see the passion from a lot of people. Yes, the AEW fans, the small vocal minority. But it's at a scale when you scale and you put some weight to it, it's not even close. It's comparing the NFL to our indoor football league that Joe got 11 stitches in.
It's hardcore. A lot of flippies.
That was flag
Yeah, a lot of
football
flippies.
too.
He's hardcore.
You're not hardcore unless you live hardcore.
That's right.
Little whispers in the corner over
Yeah.
here. Look here. All right, my turn.
Yes.
Yeah, I think AEW, especially because they had the fans. We keep talking about money and all these things. That's not the question. The question is about the actual fan themselves and their dedication to it. I think the AEW fans are more loyal, and yeah, maybe they don't spend the same amount of money, but we also have to take in consideration the amount of time. That line you stood in was not for the current roster. That line was for the memorabilia from when they were kids, and they're bringing their kids to the wrestling event that they went to when they were the same age. You know, they want the Hulk Hogan stuff. They want the Randy Orton or the Randy Savage stuff. They want stuff like that. They're not buying the current roster. And they also, if they were, I think the AEW fans feel ousted by the WWE community, because if they didn't, they wouldn't have traveled their way over to AEW in the first place. It's kind of that like, and they're always super defensive of it. And that means something. So perfect example, this is our post, me saying that the Royal Rumble sucked. We had nobody disagree. We had nothing but likes, one of our biggest moving posts that we've had so far. And our biggest traffic posts are when we talk shit about AEW. That means something. Yes, they're not spending the amount of money. That's a different category that we're about to get into in a little bit. But as of right now, we are talking about the fans themselves, and AEW fans are AEW fans. And maybe once in a while, if it's just on and they need something to watch, they'll watch WWE, and they'll talk shit about it the entire time. This one will watch it when he comes over to the house because it's on, not because he chooses to watch
I
it.
didn't turn it on.
Yep, he didn't turn it on, and he talked shit the entire time. So here we are, and I think AEW is more passionate, and those are the guys that go to the gym at Rawway and sweat their asses off. Not the expensive arenas.
That's fine. Got it.
Just had to say.
You mind?
Go for it.
Let's talk about Albuquerque for a second. So,
Let's talk about Albuquerque.
Old
What about
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque?
Yeah.
second wrestling show in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Whatever. Triple H, go do a show in Albuquerque and show them how to sell out an arena. But they don't need to travel to Albuquerque, because they can go to Saudi Arabia, and those people in Albuquerque are going to Saudi Arabia to watch WWE. That's how dedicated they are.
Yep.
They will show up where there's a WWE show. You can argue if it's right for the fans or whatever. I'll give you that argument. I won't say that's right, but they will go wherever WWE goes. They've been all over the world, like Charlie said. I think AEW Grand Slam you were referring to in Australia, which is coming up in a week or two here, is not sold out. They're still having a hard time selling tickets because the fans, these dedicated fans, don't show up to the event. And you can argue it's overseas, whatever. WWE is overseas, and they sell out every event. Charlie, go ahead.
Oh, they sell out every event overseas. Crazy. The fans are rabid overseas. I mean, AEW overseas, I don't really know how they do, but domestically, I know it's not even close. I mean, like Joe said, WWE fans will travel to events. They will wait in lines. They will support the wrestlers. And Kathy, I don't think it's just the old superstars that they're buying the memorabilia of. At SummerSlam, we saw a lot of new guy stuff. There's a lot of Logan Paul stuff. There's a lot of Cody stuff. A lot of Seth Rollins stuff.
Jey Uso.
They were making.
Say what you will.
Oh my God! The whole stadium. We had 82,000 people eating. I was eating. I hate eating. I didn't even know
I'm
what
not an
eating
eater.
meant. I didn't know what it meant. I just started raising my hands like an idiot. But I was into it. It's just an overall better fan than whatever.
Is that how we're going to end it?
Yeah, Jizzer, give me a drink and let's go.
Jizzer.
Oh, Jesus.
Yikes.
Cut.
Cut.
You know, I've never yeeted myself.
Wait, can,
Try it. It's fun.
This yeeting.
can you not
What is
jizz
this
on me
eating?
ever, please?
All right.
All right, our turn.
Yep.
You want to start?
Sure, I'll
Go
start.
for it.
Again, I will never argue with you guys that WWE doesn't have the biggest fan base, but I don't think the quality is a tough word. I think the loyalty of the AEW fan is much higher. Saudi Arabia didn't look pretty filled to me. It looked like a lot of empty seats. So all this traveling that the WWE fans are doing to the Middle East, I don't think that's happening as much as they say. And the AEW fans are doing very well overseas, especially places like Wembley.
Yeah, and you guys keep talking about money. It's not about the money. It's about the people and the quality of dedication that they have. I said again, I think it has a lot more to do with the time frame than when we get the top tier of veterans. I have a feeling it'll be about the same. We've got decades over AEW at this point.
That's my fault.
Next topic. WWE's unwillingness to open the forbidden door has given AEW a booking advantage.
Who's up?
WWE?
Yeah.
All right. This is one of the terms. What?
There.
There you go.
All right,
It's
our turn.
Mike, you want to sit
Chisel, you're killing me, man.
Hard to keep up with something.
You got him all riled up.
I was ready for my little.
And now he's going to forget it all.
Good,
Fantastic.
good. Yeah,
Perfect. Thank you for that. All right. So
Yeah, fucked me.
I 100%. There has to be a forbidden door that is open because it's free advertising, it's free scouting, it's helps write a story. If somebody is on TV too much and they need a break or whatever, they can go work the circuit. WWE has a tendency to write people off, and that's it. You're not. They'd rather write somebody off than share, and I find that to be crazy. And these people have to work these circuits because they have no choice to survive because they got cut. Instead of letting them do what they need to do and getting to fans and pulling fans in, I think they would get this level of AEW fan if they let them do these closed circuits. Killer Cross is killing, you use the word twice, killing it on the circuit. And if they ever bring him back, we keep debating on that. It will be very beneficial for them. And I think that's a platform that AEW has tapped into from the beginning that has helped them. And, it's a perfect example. Andy Williams is in one of my all-time favorite bands. He's the Butcher. He was in Every Time I Die full-time while doing closed circuits like Blackcraft and then debuting on AEW and was able to pull all of that off. And it pulled in a whole nother category. Half those Blackcraft guys, we were just talking about this the other night, the Blackcraft guys are now on AEW. You've got Luchasaurus, you've got Jack Perry, you have all these guys that then pulled over a smaller crowd into a bigger room. I said their relationship with New Japan alone has brought in 90% of their fans. And I think financially and impactful, that is the biggest relationship they have. And they take advantage of it. And, WWE tries to pull in the occasional New Japan guy, and they mention New Japan, but their entire roster now is half New Japan, and that is very helpful for them. And that brings in a very dedicated crowd.
WWE.
As I started to say, forbidden door. That's one of those terms, one of those phrases that I hate. It's stupid on its core. A forbidden door. What does that mean? Okay, but just that aside, if you want to play that game, WWE gave you that game. They worked with AAA. They work with Evolve. They have. You're talking about scouts. They have scouts that go out. They even done stuff in Japan. But here's the real thing: why WWE didn't need a forbidden door, because they're the place where everyone wants to go to. You might not like it, but guess what? You ask any person right now, what do you want to do? Would it be a WWE champion or AEW champion when you grow up, kid? I don't think many people are saying I want to be an AEW world champion. There's people that dream about being WWE superstars. Maybe, you look good for 15 or 14, but I don't know if you were dreaming about being an AEW champ. I know it wasn't a thing, but WWE sets the bar. They don't need to punch down. They don't need to open forbidden doors. People need to open doors to get to them because that is paradise in wrestling. Okay? And that's just the truth. I don't hate AEW. I gave AEW a chance. When Cody Rhodes cut that, it took me 8 years from go to this to that to main event, whatever. But WWE doesn't need a forbidden door. I hate the forbidden door thing. It's just called sharing talent, and you don't need to when you're the number one dog in town.
All right. AEW?
All right, Joe, you're up.
Well, just for the
JD.
record, I think I'm dreaming of that squared circle belt now.
I would say you have to kill me, but I think you might.
Never. You'll have to see it coming. You're right. You are right that WWE does not need to open the forbidden door. They do not need to do that. However, I think it's more fun when they do it. You've got so many indies that you can pull from when you allow yourself to work with other companies. WWE they won't do that. I mean, you can say AAA, you can say TNA. They own those now. That's not opening anything. So when AEW invites NJPW and their MLW, people from Stardom, I know they own Ring of Honor now. It's more fun. It's more people to draw from in terms of wrestlers, and you get these dream matches. Now, we already talked about the storytelling versus the matches, and you would rather see the storyline and the build-up and all of that, but there are people like myself who want to see these dream matches. They want to see Zack Sabre Jr. come over and fight Bryan Danielson at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. They have a specific pay-per-view where they can, quote-unquote, open this Forbidden Door. We went to that one in Long Island, I guess it was 2 years ago, and the matches were awesome. They had Stephanie Vaquer versus Mercedes Moné, one of the greatest women's matches I've ever seen. Was there a storyline? Hell no. Who gives a shit? The match was awesome. It was awesome. The pay-per-view was awesome. Storylines, forget it. Doesn't matter. If you're a wrestling fan, the Forbidden Door being open is one of the greatest things because you get to watch awesome wrestlers face other awesome wrestlers, which is what I'm into as a fan.
WWE? Is there arguments?
No, rebuttal.
Rebuttal. Rebuttal.
My rebuttal. So we talk about AEW opening the Forbidden Door. Okay, whatever. They opened the Forbidden Door to what? They brought in all the big stars from New Japan already into their company, and they're still second fiddle. So now you're opening the door to third-rate wrestling superstars, and that's fine. Like, the names aren't big. There's hell of wrestlers in New Japan. I love New Japan. I've been a New Japan fan for a long time. But nobody really knows who they are on a large scale. Your average wrestling fan does not know who they are. So him and point. So my point being is if AEW wants to be the biggest dog in town, they want to be the big show, they want to be on TNT, TBS, and get all this notoriety, what's the point of bringing in people that only a very small select amount of the fans know? They don't know who they are, and it doesn't matter. WWE does not need to open the Forbidden Door. Again, like Charlie had already said, they have a developmental system. They have NXT. They're building their own talent. If they need somebody, a new star on the main roster, they bring them up. Shout out to Obafemi, who's going to be a huge star. You got guys like Braun Breaker. They've already opened the Forbidden Door, I guess, to TNA. They have a really good working partnership with TNA, so they'll work back and forth with them. But let's keep in mind, these guys in TNA are not getting shots on the main roster immediately because they know they need to be developed. They are smaller stars like the guys you're seeing in New Japan, and they'll put them in NXT matches, in their developmental matches, to give them an eye. And WWE partnering with AAA as well is not to make WWE better. It's to put eyes on a product that they purchased. Let's get people watching AAA, not to bring them into the main roster and try to make WWE have more eyes on it because you have Mr. Iguana or El Vikingo on the show. It's to put more eyes on AAA and give a better opportunity to a smaller company like AAA or TNA.
Rebuttal?
I think that it goes with better storytelling. You don't know who's going to show up. There could be anybody that shows up from any organization at any point. I think purchasing these companies versus just using them is terrible. Here's a Royal Rumble. is we're just at a point now where it's an advertisement. You know, that's Forbidden Door is almost like their Royal Rumble because you just get whoever. It's a surprise. It's a gamble, and I think that that's so much better than what the Royal Rumble has become, and use literally the entire world.
I misspoke. Closing.
They still got some time.
Go.
I think the Forbidden Door kind of speaks to AEW's mentality that the wrestlers can do not whatever they want, but they have more options. They're not chained to the tyranny of WWE. Where
They don't own them like product. They
Right.
own. It's a family and
They're
an
their own
organization.
contractors.
Yeah, they're own independent contractors. Yeah.
and they can explore their options.
You want to give him a few more seconds since you
No,
cut
it's all good.
Good?
I'm happy with that.
All right. You want to start us off?
Yeah, listen. One thing I'll make clear: I don't like that WWE does treat their employees like human cattle, and they can't work anywhere else. I will say that. That's the one thing. But here, I'm gonna go it again. The Forbidden Door phrase. Yeah, it's cool for those smaller companies that like the surprises, and you know who Zack Sabre Jr. is. A lot of people don't. When you're the big dog, you risk the chance of opening the Forbidden Door and having the Powerhouse Hobbs reception. I mean, a lot of people didn't even know who that was. So it may necessarily not even be a good thing. We haven't proven that out when you're the big company because people might not know who they are. You have enough stars, homegrown stars. When you open that door, it could lead to a popcorn fart like Powerhouse Hobbs did.
We're running out of time, but I think you summed it up for us well.
All right, let's get to the last one. AEW will never overtake WWE as the #1 wrestling promotion.
I'll jump in. All right. So I think we summed it up here. I've said all the reasons why AEW is not going to be the #1 promotion. They do not tell good stories. They do not get people to come to their shows. Like, main thing, you got to get people to fill out your arenas. You got to get people to buy merch. And you say it's not about the money. WWE, has a bigger fan base and has all the money. Well, you know what this is? It's a business. You need to make money. Sorry, AEW, you're not making the money you need to. Even if you have, you're backed by your dad or whatever it is, Tony Khan. They don't tell the stories. WWE sells out all over the world. Until AEW can get to that point, they will never overtake WWE. And in my honest opinion, I give AEW about 10 more years and we won't be talking about them anymore. Tops.
AEW, how would you like to respond?
I'm going to clarify. I don't think they need to take over. I don't think they need to be. I think that was the big mistake WWE and WCW made. They were basically the same thing twice. I think it's a healthy competition. It is great, I think. But I think AEW, the biggest thing they're missing is the proper streaming service to get to the bigger people. I think if they get the right streaming service, because I'll be honest, WWE lost a lot of people, especially with this Peacock shortcut. I know personally a bunch of people who just gave up. I think they're at a point now where they are signing contracts with companies, not fans and people. And I think that'll catch up with WWE at some point. I don't think it'll be a takeover because we're talking billion with a B. But it will be there will definitely be a drop coming because they are not targeting themselves towards the people and the fans. They're targeting themselves towards anybody that will throw money at them. And that is not how we want to be treated as fans and money spenders.
WWE?
Well, I mean, to think that AEW is ever going to be the #1 company, I think it's kind of silly. I think Joe said 10 years, if they're even around, I think would be an accomplishment. I don't think they've yet to not see the red. And that, like you said, when you have a billionaire and a billionaire's dad, that's cool. But WWE is, like I said, it's in the zeitgeist. People bring their children, their grandpas, they still have memories. They pass them down. They like it. It's more kid friendly. It sells more product. It's the NFL, and the only cross stream of fans you might have is UFC fans. Also like wrestling. Now UFC's with WWE. They can promote on UFC. They can promote WWE on them. So I'm getting tongue tied here, but I think I made my point.
AEW, your rebuttal?
This is a rebuttal.
Yep, you.
Yeah. I know, Tony Khan with his billionaire dad, so we obviously can't make that same argument with WWE because Triple H and Stephanie are obviously not related to anybody who owned or owned. So, as a fan, I don't give a shit if AEW ever overtakes WWE because they did $3 billion deals, WWE did, with Fox, Peacock, Saudi Arabia. They're making money hand over fist. They're a publicly traded company. I just like that AEW is an alternative. It's a great alternative. If you're a fan of professional wrestling, not necessarily sports entertainment, AEW is the place to go. The wrestling is already better. It's less predictable, I think, than WWE wrestling. And in terms of the storytelling, I'm going to refer to the list again, the Sports Illustrated list. Best storylines in 2025. So they're getting better. Even in their infancy, they're getting better. So will they overtake WWE? Probably not, but they're still good.
Closing arguments?
All right, real quick, I'm just going to say one thing back to what Charlie said that I didn't say in my opening statement, but very good point. Something you could bring your family to. Again, I got a kid. I want to bring him to wrestling. I don't want to bring him to a show where a wrestler's got a screwdriver sticking out of his head and thumbtacks in his back.
Yeah, I saw a hypodermic needle once.
Hypodermic needles. Disgusting. I don't want to keep harping on this, but it's something you could bring your kids to, and that's essentially it's a family thing still. Gets a little edgier, but it's still a family thing, and that will also give it a lot of its longevity on top of everything else that we said.
Yeah, I mean, kind of said it all right there. It's not going anywhere. It appeals to the family, and it's also turned a little bit more of an edge. It's not the G-rated Super Cena days. It has turned more of an edge. That's why the Jizzle has his own rump rating, and he doesn't watch AEW. Jeremy, I'll end it like that.
You can't top it better than that.
No.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll talk after.
Oh, you don't know about the rump rating?
No.
Let's get the closing argument out, then we can discuss the rumps.
We'll discuss the runs. Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's a matter of takeover versus replacement like WCW. I think it is going to be its own thing. Yes, the family part of it is obviously different, but the money is, they're already grabbing a straw. Stephanie McMahon was like, go on a VPN. It's great. Don't pay for it. Why are you paying for it? Because they know that it's like the NFL. You got to find Raw on Netflix. You got to find this on that. You got to track it down. I said, speaking of the grandfathers, my father-in-law is one of those people that completely gave up and has been a fan since the beginning of WWE. And he was like, yeah, I can't keep up with it. So that'll lose a lot of people in the long term.
Just no one website.
Yes, one website.
That's right.
They don't even know what VPN is. So any other?
I think.
Nope, we're done.
Yeah,
All
we're
right.
done. You said it.
All right.
Said everything I
That
wanted
was
to say.
our debate. We're running long on time here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We're on YouTube. Like and subscribe. And send us an email at squaredcirclequestions@gmail.com. I want to thank JD for coming in and being an awesome AEW super fan. Everybody for participating. Jizzle. You did an
MVP.
okay.
Good job.
You did okay. And shout out to Mike, who you
Shots
can't see
fired.
on camera, who is our sort of offstage producer who kept things in order here. Thank you, Mike. So thank you guys.
Too many jobs for the
Mike
Jizzle.
for
We had to
doing
bring in a
Jizzle
third
job.
party.
Thank you, Mike, for doing the Jizzle's job. Have a good one, guys.
Peace.
Later.